Good evening. I'd like to call to order this regularly scheduled Board of Education meeting. It's Wednesday, November 12th, 2025, 5:30 p.m. Ms. Stokoe, would you please call the roll?
Ms. Coco?
Here.
Mr. Gomez?
Here.
Mr. Harris?
Here.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Here.
Ms. White?
Here.
Thank you. Item B is approval of the agenda. It is recommended that the Board of Education approves the agenda of the November 12th, 2025 Board of Education meeting. Action by the Board of Education and adoption of a consent agenda means that all items are adopted by one singular motion unless a member of the Board of Education, treasurer, or superintendent requests that any such item be removed from the consent agenda and voted upon separately.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Ms. Stokoe, please call the roll.
Ms. Coco?
Aye.
Mr. Gomez?
Aye.
Mr. Harris?
Aye.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Aye.
Ms. White?
Aye.
Item C is informational items. This meeting is a meeting of the Cuyahoga Falls Board of Education in public for the purpose of conducting the school district's business. It is not a public community meeting, although there are opportunities for public participation. If an individual wishes to address the board regarding a topic found on the meeting agenda, the individual must complete a registration form found inside the attendance notebook and present it to the treasurer. Following the introduction of the topic by the board president, followed by board discussion, the individual will be recognized. If an individual wishes to address the board regarding a topic not found on the meeting agenda, he or she must notify the superintendent and/or board president of the topic no later than 3 business days in advance of the meeting. These individuals may share their comments during the board business portion of the agenda. In both cases, the individual will preface comments by an announcement of his or her name and address and limit comments to 3 minutes. All statements should be directed to the board president. No person may address or question board members individually. An unabridged board agenda for this meeting can be found on your electronic device and at the address shown on the screen. And for your convenience, hard copies of the board agenda may be found on the table by the sign-in book. The next regularly scheduled meeting of the Cuyahoga Falls Board of Education is November 19th, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. in the Cuyahoga Falls High School Library. And now for our Pledge of Allegiance and welcome, Ms. White.
If you'll please stand if you're able and join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Welcome, our vision, Cuyahoga Falls City School District, the hub of our community committed to a culture of caring. We innovate, we create, we personalize education for all. Our mission, every student, every day, every opportunity.
Thank you, Ms. White. Item D is presentations, and we have our strategic plan update this evening. Dr. Selka.
Thank you. I actually think I could probably stay here if you don't mind. And I'll sit there right now. So it was requested that we give a strategic plan update. As we know, we've started this process probably over a year ago now with our initial conversations. And for the public, and as a reminder, I know the board knows this, but this is the board's vision for the district, and this is the board's, I always refer to it when I explained it to our group, is that it's the board's plan and we get to execute it and see it through, and that you hold us accountable for doing that work. So what you'll see here this evening, I'll give just a little bit update of where we are and then what our next steps are. So Ryan, if you want to go ahead. This is just, again, some graphics, some of them of which you've seen. So our plan is right now is slotted to go for 4 years. We know that there may be a time in which we end some goals early. We might need a little extra time on some, but what we are trying to do is this is what we envision for the next 4 years. I just want to talk a little bit, what we've done is we've spent a little bit of extra time, if you will, this year as opposed to the previous one. And again, I think I came in midstream, but we spent a lot of time setting the stage and conveying the message to various stakeholders. So how did we go about doing that? Here are just a number of ways I want to just let you know what we've done to communicate your plan and your vision. So at opening day at convocation, I know you were all there, so I believe all of you were there, and we saw that we talked about the vision for the district, we talked about the strategic plan, the different goal areas, etc. So that's how we sort of opened with that. We put in our ROAR newsletter the different goal areas, descriptors in one of our newsletters, and that is also when we solicited input from our stakeholders to see who would want to be on any of our committees, which that did garner some folks. I'll talk about that in just a moment. We also have created a graphic. You're aware that we focused on the C, F, and S, the 3 goals that we thought we'd play off of, right? Cuyahoga Falls Schools, so culture of caring, facilitating, and steering for the 3. I guess those would all be verbs that we came up with. And then, so we had that graphic created and created that document. We've distributed that both electronically and we have hard copies available. We also created a video that talks extensively about the plan itself. We showed that at convocation, and then we also blasted that out. It's on our website. We put it out on Parent Square to our parents, and it's on website for people to view at any time, but it gives a nice overview of the plan. You all have seen it, I believe. We also have been doing social media posts. Christine, one of the things I've asked her to do is to bring this to the forefront, keep it as an ongoing message to our families and to our stakeholders, and as a result, we've had social media posts around the different goal areas and highlighting folks. We also had a presentation at our Business Alliance Council, talked about our strategic plan there. We also, in our monthly Tiger Tales newsletter that you see, it's our internal newsletter that goes out to our staff. I've been spotlighting different staff members that have exhibited something in one of the 3 areas. So the first one was culture of caring for our receptionist, and how I was witnessing her treating our families with respect, and so just highlighted her. And then the last one was around both culture of caring, but also in our facilitating, steering towards student achievement, about those teachers that have given of their time for those students that have been expelled, where they are not required to provide work, but have gone above and beyond to help our students maintain their education while being expelled. So those are our 2 spotlights. We'll have another one coming up here soon. And then I've been encouraging principals to incorporate into their staff meetings and their communications ways in which they could tie to the actual strategic plan themselves. So I've seen a few of them doing that. And then we had last night, our first meeting was, as I mentioned, here. We had a great turnout. I was really encouraged. I think we had almost everybody attend that said they were going to join. So I just did a quick little CFS. So for our culture of caring goal, we had 16 members, and one of which at the time, and I think that actually has climbed, are community and parents. So we have a couple on there. Heather, how many community members are parents? Was that been updated? I don't think he updated that. Is it 4 now? 4, yeah. Okay, so when I did this, we had more people just come in, just enter in, so it wasn't updated. So I know that was more than that. We had more last night. So 4 for our facilitating our financial future. We had a total of 9, of which 3 are community members and parents. And then we have steering to academic achievement, success. We have 12 members, of which 3 of them are, members of the community and parents. And we do have some members that don't have children in our school that are parts of it. I was able to speak to, I think, just about all of them last night. They volunteered, so appreciative of them. So we opened up last night. I had given an overview similar to what you're going to see tonight, with a couple different slides and direction, and just talked to them about the inception of the plan, what the plan means, how we will execute it, their role in it, and then the expectations of them as members of the community about, how many meetings they'll have, how frequently they'll meet, how there will be subcommittees doing various works of the action steps, etc. So that went really well. Talked for about 15 minutes. We broke out into our 3 groups. A couple groups met in here and another in the band room, and then they each focused on their goals and then their action steps, and got feedback from the members, and then determined next steps, and then they'll meet again in January.
Can we get a list of who's on those subcommittees?
Sure.
And then do those committees, are there like minutes or like report outs that we would be able to get as well? Of like what the work that they're doing is?
We'll be giving you reports.
How do
yes.
they communicate the work that they're doing?
Okay, well, so how we plan, I don't think I saw anybody taking notes. Well, I shouldn't say anybody. You guys did? Okay, one group I did not see, but that doesn't mean you weren't. I just didn't notice it. However, it's, in our next cabinet meeting, which is next week, while it's all fresh in our heads, I've asked them to report out on what they did, and then we'll keep notes that way. And we also have, so in a moment, I don't know if it's my next slide, but you're about to see here shortly how we're monitoring it, so I'll show you that in just a minute. But I can get you the list of the committee
And then when
members.
we say we created a graphic, what's the graphic? I haven't seen any graphic.
That's the printed
Yeah,
sheet, the two-sided graphic.
I don't.
Oh, the strategic plan document?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
that's not really a graphic like we had talked about as a
Yeah.
board wanting. Like we
Well, we
talked about
shared it.
wanting a graphic and like something shareable. I don't think people are gonna pick up a 2-page piece of paper. You know how
Is
we've
it one
talked,
page?
It's, well,
Two
like what we
It's a-
saw, the front, it's the title page, it has the vision and the mission, and
Yeah.
the back has the goals and the objectives on it.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the board was satisfied. I didn't receive feedback on going a different direction. I know that what we paid for the planning process has been completed. So if there's something
well,
more.
we had talked about creating graphics to try to illustrate what they would be. We talked a lot about that when we met to create the strategic plan. And then we talked about using those to try to create ownership from our smallest learners through our oldest folks in the community to try to help them integrate this. Like, I don't think putting this down in front of an elementary student is gonna help them realize what our hopes and dreams for them are.
Okay. I'm gonna talk to you about a portrait of a black tiger. Maybe that will help a little bit. But if the desire of the board is to do a graphic, I just need input and what that would be. So we're happy to do it, but I just need to have input. I haven't received any that I'm aware of specifics. And if I have, I may have missed it, but yeah, we're happy to do that.
Well, I think at the very beginning, when this was like 2 years ago, I think we had a board retreat, we talked about that.
Well, with respect, I mean, I shared it and asked for feedback, and maybe.
Well, I didn't know that was what's what we're calling a graphic. I think
Okay.
it's different.
Okay,
Like,
well,
we don't even call it a graphic on our website, we call it a strategic plan document,
well, maybe I used the wrong word.
so.
Yeah, okay. All right,
You can see what the portrait of
Yeah.
of a graduate.
so the next, yeah, you can go ahead. So I won't spend time here. This is just a reminder of our goals, culture of caring. I highlighted some key words and when I go over this with people, that helps me guide, rather than reading everybody the whole thing, we just kind of look at highlights of the key points in the culture for caring. And same with, you can keep going, the finance, facilitating our financial future. Again, we talk about, this is not just finances, but it's, buildings and capacity and what that looks like as we move forward with our aging buildings and partnerships that we can have that will foster, growth in our students as well. And then third, our steering to student achievement. Certainly this is around our learning, our academic focus, and looking to get our students, as we know, the board we use many times, which is our employment, enlistment, and enrollment success for our students. And then the monitoring sheet, if you can click on this, yeah. So the question was, how are we going to monitor it, and what are we going to know? How are we going to know what people are doing? Uh-oh, do you need access?
Oh, you need access.
We just ran into the circle here with someone. You won't be able to get in?
You want to
Gonna break in?
Hackers be happy.
Yeah,
He's IT, he'll find a
certain set of skills.
Yeah. Okay, so if you are able to see it, it's a recording sheet. So we have the goals, the objectives, and then the action steps all listed out. And then we have who's assigned to that, what the time frame is, what resources are needed. And so it keeps us on track. And then we'll have a progress check. And I think if you recall from our last one, we'd use red, yellow, green to show the progress of, where are we on a particular action step. If we meet at cabinet and we're discussing the progress and we see red everywhere, we're gonna say, hey, why is this red? Or green, hey, there it is, we're good to go. So and that's the example there. So that group already went ahead and filled some things out. So there's, and I think I gave you access to the last year's one. So I can give you this and then you will, at any time, you could click in and know our progress. So we can grant you access to that. Okay. And it's just the same, the 3 tabs are at the bottom for the same 3. Timeline. Okay, so that's what we'll be basing our conversations off of. And these are also, as I bless you, had stated to you early on, what I had said to the group last night, I said the vision and the objectives are static. Those are to remain unchanged, because that's what the board's, work was. But the action steps certainly have some flexibility. If you want to add, delete, revise, because these were created from feedback that we received, but mostly from administrators based on the feedback that we, got. So we're happy to involve others with their input, and that's what some of the committee members will share, and so there's some flexibility there. And that's the monitoring sheet. And then I think I have one more slide. Oh, 2 more. So the portrait of a black tiger, I was asked by Mr. Gomez to share what this work is going to be. So I know I communicated with you earlier on in the year. I asked, and Mr. Gomez had said, I think it was maybe in our meeting, that you had shared, that this wasn't something we had to do in September, knowing that we're opening a new school here in a moment, and we're quite busy. So we put this on the side burner, not back burner, but so I've been working on this a little bit, and now we're ready to go in January. So as you know, I met with Jeff from the ESC, and he is going to facilitate some discussions with our Business Advisory Council plus, and I say plus because we'll be adding people. I spoke to the group this week and shared with them what a portrait of a black tiger is. What you have, and there are samples if anyone in the audience would like to see, portrait of a graduate. I just pulled this off of just website of a couple, well actually I think these are the ones Jeff shared, but I also shared the steps that we'll take. I'll come back to that, I'll do that last. The first page will be my last discussion item. But those are examples of what people in a couple communities have done relative to a portrait of a graduate. And it was the board's desire to talk about a black tiger rather than just, what a student does as they enter their adulthood, preparing them to be, young adults in our workforce. The purpose of this would be to identify skills, mindsets, characteristics of students that will help them thrive, not just in work or beyond, but also like just life in general and citizenship. That's kind of the general gist of the portrait of typically a graduate, but again, looking at a black tiger, so what a black tiger student would look like. And so we're gonna work with the Summit County ESC. We're gonna have 3 meetings with various stakeholders. Those will be held on those 3 dates. And we will send out an invitation to parents, and we have a representation currently of businesses, community members, some parents, I think that play dual roles. I think I have on the committee. We have city officials, city leadership, and then we have administrators, teachers, counselors on the committee, administrators, I think I said. So we have a representation, but we just need to get some more parents and at the table. And so his exercise, if you go to the next one, so, and this is, you have this in front of you as well. So typically he has 4 meetings, but I've asked him to consolidate because some of it I felt like, might have lingered on. I don't want to lose people. It's a large, what he had was a very large time commitment, and while I appreciate it, he's had it work in some other districts, not necessarily in big numbers, but a pretty solid group, and I was happy that that's worked for folks. I was just trying to be a little bit more realistic, and I think we can accomplish what we're trying to do in 3 meetings. And so we start with design teams, and then we do a lot of like visioning work. So you're looking at what competencies do you think that children should have as they grow up, as they grow and develop. So a lot of that is the visioning, determining what competencies those are, kind of like what you see in front of you in those examples. They're listed there. And then we'll look at how that ties to what the community values are. And then they'll create a portrait similar to what I think Mr. Gomez was getting at. They actually have a graphic. Now, this is done many different ways, he said. There's a graphic designer that can come in and do it. Other districts have had art teachers do it. Other districts have had children do it. So it just depends on what we'd like to see. And then, again, I showed you just a couple of what the communities did. Some, like the one is very simple, just a few words, right? The bomber on the bomber jacket, just a few words there. And then, you know, the adoption. I think he said that he would have people vote at the meeting. The group votes on what they think and what they'd like to put forward to the board. But we can do that, you know, any which way.
Can we go back to the dates, please?
Sure.
The 13th is one of the high school tour dates, so I think that would be a very,
Oh, these are actually in the morning. These are from 9,
Is it-
9,
we're not gonna
9 to
get good
10:30.
parent turnout. That's a bad idea. There has to be at least one, if we actually want parents' voices to be heard, we need at least one evening.
Do we already have, you said you already have the group of stakeholders that are doing
A lot
this,
of them, the ones
that
I
are
mentioned,
committed?
yes.
Yeah, but I thought you said we were sending it out to all of our
We are,
parents
for
as
more
well.
parents, yeah.
If we want parents to actually be able to come, we're gonna need to at least have one evening option.
Are these Business Alliance meeting dates? Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah,
But
well,
not all of them,
we
because they don't
adjusted.
take
Not all,
place in
yeah.
January.
We adjusted our normal dates, and I had talked to I think at the first meeting, I mentioned that we would have a little bit of a wonky schedule this year, and I gave them a heads up. I asked people if they were interested in participating, and I didn't get any objections, so we went with these dates.
I think it's a good idea to include them for this visioning, obviously, but I do think it's a good idea to have some parent
We
involvement.
can't do just one. We'd have to do the whole series, because he wants the same people for the whole thing. You have to commit, which is why I cut it to 3, because I was afraid, asking for 4 nights for 2 to 2.5 hours is just a really big commitment, which is why I was trying to
Why do
build
they
an answer.
why do they have to come to all 3?
Well, because it's a process, I'm just saying what he had said. So he wants the full commitment of everybody.
But you do have parents that are coming.
That's a,
Yeah, I'd
We
have
have
to
a list?
think back of who our list is,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then who's a parent in the group.
how many more are you looking for? Are we
I would
looking
like
for-
to have several parents if we could, a
we
few at
could, yeah.
least, yeah.
Okay.
5 to 7, different age groups, you know?
I know, I mean, because the group did say that that time works for them. I don't know if we can find some more parents.
I mean, if we could get, how many weeks is that? I'm not great with dates.
Yeah, I mean,
How many
that's-
weeks is that? 6 weeks, 8 weeks?
That'll be here tomorrow, yeah. Yeah,
If we could get some, I would like to see some, especially parents of different age groups. in the
Yeah,
group.
that's a
Yeah.
good idea. I agree.
yeah.
It isn't a great time for many working parents, but I bet we could get some parents.
Find some folks.
So you'll just send this out then, like through Parent Square to ask for more parents? and see?
Yeah, and explain what
So-
it is, what the commitment is.
Are these all on Tuesday? I didn't look at
Yes.
the dates.
I think so, yeah.
Can Jeff provide us with an explanation of what this is? Because sitting here, I don't understand what it is and why they have to all come to all 3. So I don't know how I could tell a parent what that is and why they need to commit and why they would want to come. Or if I even think it's a good idea that we do it during the daytime.
Well, I think it depends on the team. I think you would ask them what's the best time for them to come. And then if you find out they can't come in the morning, then you have to make the evening, you know. That's the way I would get them together and then ask and see what times are good for them. You know what I mean? Just to see.
Well, we did that, but we didn't
Oh.
include, like, this group has already agreed, and we have about 30 people there already.
So I would, we send it out on Parent Square and see what kind of response we get for the times that they already are. That would be my suggestion would be, and if we don't get a lot of parent feedback or enough parents,
Yeah.
then
That's fair.
revisit a different day. That would be my suggestion. Just to ensure that we have parents.
I think it goes back to, we have to define what this is before we say that, because I don't think we're doing a good job of defining what this is or what we're gonna use it for.
Well, I will certainly do that, yeah. I mean, I just am giving you a high level, I mean, I thought, this came from the board, so I just.
Yeah,
wanted
I
to
think
make
it's a
it-
good idea, but then I think it's, to me, it's coming across that our business advisory council is gonna tell us what we want our graduates to be, our Black Tigers to be.
But they're
That's how I'm
representative of your
receiving.
community.
And we talked about this, a couple months ago about having this be presented at Business Alliance. So we already kind of knew that that was going to be presented there. We've done, I remember being on this, it wasn't a portrait of a graduate committee, but it was another committee when I was in the community, and we did these during the day for something else. So, I mean, we will be able to find, parents to participate, but we have to get it going pretty soon, because it's a time commitment that sometimes is difficult to fill. So I think that we can find some parents to engage in the activity. It's a worthwhile activity, but I do, Mr. Gomez, I do agree that it's worthwhile to know exactly what's gonna be happening during the time, so we can let them know what they're committing to. Like, I might say, well, I can make 2, but I can't make the 3rd one, and is it worth me volunteering my time for that? Or should I, bow out? 'Cause there's a lot of times I would like to volunteer for something, but I just can't make it. So,
That's what we did with the strategic plan. Before
Yeah.
people committed, we told them what the commitment would be.
yeah.
And then they made the choice to participate or not.
So if I'm, if I know it's 2.5 hours for these 3 dates, and I must be there for all 3 dates, then, well, and I can only make 2 of the dates, and I would say, well, that's not for me.
As far as the business advisory, when I was on that, we looked at what we wanted students to know, what they and we both wanted students to know. And I know it was the 4 Cs that came up in those meetings over and over again, which, again, I think that's what, collaboration, communication, critical thinking. What's the other 4? I can't think of the other 4 C. 4th C. Is it creativity? I'm not sure, but at any rate, they did come up with things like problem solving. We all agree, yes. And so I don't think it hurts to involve them, because they know what they need out in the real world.
Are there gonna be, educators in as well? I know there's counselors, and there's educators, and there's administrators, and
It's
then there's.
very admin heavy.
Okay.
I would just say, we're a district that lacks the parental involvement that we wish that we would have.
That's
And
fair.
it feels like, once again, we're building a system around everyone else but parents, and then trying to force parents into the system at the end, when we're already a system that doesn't have the parental involvement we need. Why would we not then try to create systems around what works best for parents and make everyone else work around them? We always talk about how we wish our parents were more involved, and then here we are again with a system that's built not to make things convenient for parents, and then hopefully a few parents can fit this peg into the square box that we've created for that. And then we're gonna talk about how we wish we would have had more parents there. And it just seems like we're perpetuating our own problem in this district of lack of parental involvement.
Well, I think it's very important that parents are involved.
Yeah, and I'd be happy to show you the results of when we do evening meetings, because we held a meeting here in this very room, and I had 1 parent. I had 0 parents at my superintendent chat, well, I don't remember, coffee chats. So, I mean, I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to be problematic, and I'll do whatever the board's desire is, but I don't get a turn, my state of the schools, I mean, who's there, staff, right? I mean, so again, it's the reality of, people are busy, and that's why we put things out, also so they can view them at home. We're trying to do things virtually now, so we're trying to make it more accessible for parents who can't come out. They could at least participate, virtually and things like that. So
And I see this as a jump start in that process. I mean, if we're, because you're already working on a parent list, I mean, we already have
Yeah.
parents that are interested as well. So, I mean, depending on how many more we need, we would be fulfilling that goal of having parent representation. But no,
And I think too that you can ask them what times are best for them to meet and
Check with
get
them,
some
yeah.
feedback from them.
I think we might have done a survey. Did we do a survey?
You might have, I don't know.
I don't know, I'm
I'm
trying to
sorry,
recall too. Did we do a survey at one time for parent involvement? We were asking questions about how you want to be engaged and times of days. I don't remember if that's for a specific committee or.
The surveys that we put out for parents were, we did a survey for parent engaged, yes, we did.
I thought we did, but I couldn't
I'm
think
talking
of it.
about-
Talk yourself through it,
We did a
yeah. Yeah, that's how I do
communication
too.
plan,
I
and we
do
did
too.
one through, the Ohio State University
Yeah.
Family Engagement Center,
Okay.
yes. Open up that other tab.
So do we already have times in place that were discussed with everyone else for these?
Jeff has them
And
reserved,
Jeff
everybody
already
reserved
has
them
it
on the
reserved
calendars,
and all
yeah.
of that.
I mean, I'm happy
I
to
think-
put it out and see what kind of involved. If we get 0 parents, I will
What
certainly
is
come back to
our-
the board and say,
What
we
did
need a
Jeff
plan
say,
B.
the goal, how many people was the goal to have in each committee?
I did ask him that, and it wasn't, so it ranged from, I want to say 22 was his smallest group, to like maybe 50.
I remember him saying
Yeah.
numbers, but I didn't remember what they
Yeah.
were.
I remember the number 22, and I think that was, well, I don't want to say the district, but I remember the district.
And this, and so in this design team, the people that they suggested in there being
Yep.
involved in the design team.
Yes.
So we have many of these people already involved in the Business Alliance. So what we are missing, really, we need more parents and then, and students.
Yeah, I was thinking about students, and I mean, we certainly can make it happen. We have late start students, like I can engage them, that don't start until 10, 11 o'clock, that, would be able to make it, if we wanted to. I wouldn't have younger students, clearly, but we could get some high school students.
Is there any way to have another activity that would parallel these activities with some parents and students that we could get some input also?
I mean, I'm sure there's a way. I mean, you could even do a survey, and you can certainly do that. Yeah, I also was trying to be cognizant of the expense that it'll be too, because the more we ask and the more meetings and, we incur costs. So I was trying to also be fiscally responsible.
Wasn't this part of our contract with
No.
the ESC?
No, not this. This is totally different. They contract out. They have two different ones.
I do like that suggestion, Mrs. Schaefer. That's a great thinking outside the box. Like when I think of the visioning work of it, when you're thinking of like the different words, and we've done very similar things to this with Summit ESC for different things as a board, and asking for those words. Could we involve and engage the parents that maybe don't fit into this time slot, where we would send out, and what does a portrait of a black tiger mean? Whatever the wording would be to get the best feedback
I'm happy to do
of
that.
those certain words. And then those could be used in that meeting along with
We
everything
could
else,
share that
you know what I mean?
information with the group, yeah.
Like, I like that
'Cause I-
suggestion.
Because
could
that's
do it.
what Mr. Gomez says is kind of like, it's kind of ringing around in my brain now. Are we going to like allow like the Business Alliance Council to kind of like tell us what what a portrait of a graduate is? And not to sound dramatic or anything, but like, it should kind of come from parents and students. We should come within the halls of our schools, what we want our graduates to
And for the people
to
that are
project,
listening in, Business Alliance is a very specific term but it represents so many different people. We have the chief of police
we
there.
are a member of it.
We
It's
have
part
city,
of us, but it
folks
should-
there.
Yeah,
And it's a variety of people.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's a part of us, but like it should come from within our halls
Yeah.
what we're projecting into
Sure.
the world. So I would I do want more involvement from inside to shine out into the world. I know, I'm using, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. Shine bright, bright tiger.
There you go.
Yeah. Maybe it can be some writing assignments in, what is a black tiger to you? What does it mean to be a black tiger? Essay contest.
It's actually quite easy to do. That's easy to embed into an ELA class. Mhm.
I have another question too. These examples of what other people have used. This blank paper right here,
I don't know, yeah.
blank sheet.
Theirs isn't a good one.
Which I'm using to take notes on.
That's exactly what it was, Ms. Schaefer.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I know that we've looked at these before.
Yeah.
These examples before. Are these the ones that people liked and we were?
Those are approved, and yeah, that's what they voted on.
These are what we voted on.
No, not us.
That we
No, those
liked.
are the ones that are you asking, are those the ones
Maybe
that the
just-
board
yeah, just
gave feedback
examples.
on?
Yeah, that's Coventry schools and. I forget
Right,
them.
because we looked at a couple of them, what people liked from, I mean, what other districts used.
Yeah, yeah,
Or
yeah.
these are what we were trying to,
I could get other examples too. I was just trying to give
Oh,
people
okay.
an idea of what it is. Because people were, at the Alliance too, I showed them these pictures so they could understand. I talked a little bit about what the goal is.
I already have an idea, like it could be like a tiger and then the stripes on the tiger
Could say the
could have the
things.
words on
I
it.
wrote that down, Mr. Gomez.
I
I
did. I
actually
was
have that
thinking
in
the
my
same
notes.
thing.
Oh, wow.
It's so
So
fun. I
that's
wrote that in
pretty,
the meeting.
pretty well
Are
decided.
you volunteering to draw it?
Nope. But I think we pretty well, that's a pretty
Yeah,
good
look.
idea. I think
That's
the
not
board's
bad.
that.
Descriptions of the
Okay.
stripes
I
and the
was thinking
tiger
the
right
same
there.
thing, but I didn't think
I'll
it was.
listen to all of you.
Kinda makes sense.
Me too.
Yeah.
Would kind of make sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You're
who
volunteering.
came
Mr.
up with
Gomez
it
is going to do the graphics. We'll
Nope.
save money there.
No,
Alright.
but I'm sure one of our art classes would.
Yeah, we have
Sure.
a lot of.
Public
examples.
art, public art
Yeah.
could be one of their projects.
Yeah. No.
Because
Really.
it would be used as public art.
Okay. Which, yeah.
Yeah, they're very good.
Yeah, they certainly can.
so where are we landing? Are we keeping these dates for now and trying to get more parent involvement? What did we decide?
I think we could start there and see what we get. And if we're striking out, we can go to Plan B. And then we also can look at ways of engaging, again, getting a message out to folks about what this is, show examples maybe, and then ask them. And I'll talk with Jeff about what he thinks the right questions are to ask to engage. Because he probably, I'm guessing, has a series of questions that he poses to people. Maybe we could just take that same principle and apply it, virtually.
And I didn't know it wasn't part of our contract. I thought it was. Because ultimately, it's just a really fancy, like, word bubble. If we're being honest.
I was surprised,
What is
Mr.
that
Gomez, at how
called?
much time, like the original quote he came back with, I'm like, oh no, this isn't
Yeah.
gonna work. And how much time it's a big time commitment. I felt it's a little stretched out. I think you could do it, that's why I'm saying less, which is why I got his cost down, but it was stretched out quite a bit.
Kind of
So.
seems like a
Yeah.
complex word bubble where
Yeah.
they, like, oh, that one got really big. Everyone said that one.
Yeah, cause it's not
Everyone
a
said
real
critical
involved,
thinking
right?
skills.
Yeah, it's not real involved, but on the surface, but he digs a little in, digs in but I'll get some more information from him too. I think he gave me a quote with some details way back. I'll have to dig that out, but I'll get you some more information on that too from him. But I think I have my marching orders. I know what I need to do, and we'll work on some things, and I'll keep you updated on these couple strategies that you suggested too.
Thank you.
I think that was my last slide, right?
Yeah, we went through that one.
Okay. That's it. Oh, next steps I did not mention, I'm sorry, it's just not on there, but, so we met, and as I mentioned, so January is the next meeting, and then in between, we as cabinet will be discussing what they did at the first meeting, what the next steps are for them, and we'll have regular meetings that we have, and then we meet with all admin, and we talk about it as well, provide them with updates, and then we'll provide you with updates. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Selico. Anything else? That brings us to item E, Treasurer CFO's Business Consent Agenda. Ms.
Thank
Stokely.
you. I'd like to recommend the Board of Education approve all items listed in the treasurer's consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
We have the minutes. I meant to do this last time and it totally slipped my mind. But when we did the transfer for the LFI funds, the transfer itself is considered an expenditure. Even though no money is moving, it's considered an expenditure, so the appropriations need to be increased by that transfer amount for the 004 fund. That's the only change on here. So that's just to account for that on the books. And then our donations, we have a number of them again. A lot of stuff to the Black Tiger Family Center. We've got the Ben Curtis Family Foundation again. I won't read them all, but many
It's American
cash
flags.
donations at Preston.
A lot of
New
flag
buildings.
donations.
And then the American flags. Yes, they're
That's great.
always appreciative
Everybody.
of those.
Everywhere, yeah.
That's all.
That's awesome.
It is great.
I want to thank the Ben Curtis Family Foundation because we know that with the uncertainty with SNAP and everything, we heard that additional families are requesting those birdie
Yeah.
bags. So it's a wonderful thing that they do for our families.
Yes, it
And
is.
with the American flags, that's Peggy Whitcomb coordinated those donations for flags for classrooms
Yeah.
at the new campus,
great.
which is a
Thank
significant financial savings to the
Yes.
district.
Yes.
And they will be honoring those that donated them as part of our ribbon cutting ceremony.
That's great.
And then just a thank you to Leslie Frank for her donations as
Thank you,
well.
Leslie.
I assume you have a plan to retire the old flags?
Yes, we talked about it.
Okay, thank you.
Great, Ms. Stokely, please call the roll.
Mr. Gomez?
Aye.
Mr. Harris?
Aye.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Aye.
Ms. White?
Aye.
Ms. Coco?
Aye. Brings us to item F, Treasurer CFO's Business. Ms. Stokely.
It is recommended the Board of Education approve and accept the 5-year forecast as presented.
So
So
moved.
moved. Oh, second.
This is strictly, there's no presentation or anything with it. This is one of the downfalls to them moving the forecast to October as opposed to November, is that you do not have the results of any renewal or new levies that are on. So what was submitted, that had to be submitted in October, by October 15th by law, did not show the renew, it showed the renewal being modeled at the bottom, which triggered, because it's in next year, it triggered the state to reach out and ask us to come up with a plan, because without that renewal levy, we would have been in a deficit. However, with the renewal levy, we're okay. So in order to avoid writing the plan, we can resubmit our forecast now with the renewal, since we know the results, and it was passed, which, thank you.
Thank you.
And so that's all this reflects, is just kind of moving it from that modeled line actually up into the top portion revenue section for real estate and, rollback and homestead and the PUP there, so tangible personal. So that is the only change on here. The numbers have not changed. It might have been like $1 or $2 here or there, but this will satisfy the state's requirement now that we are solvent in that year for what the line they're looking at.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions?
And solvent through 2028. So we stretched that levy 10 years, which is pretty impressive. I don't think we'll be able to wait that long to go to the ballot, unfortunately, but still impressive to stretch it for 10 years forecast-wise. So very proud of that fact.
Yeah.
Ms. Stokely, please call the roll.
Mr. Harris?
Aye.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Aye.
Ms. White?
Aye.
Ms. Coco?
Aye.
Mr. Gomez?
Aye.
And your Treasurer CFO's comments.
Just to kind of reiterate what I just said, I just wanted to thank the community for the passage of the levy. As we all know, especially recently, our financial situation and how critical those dollars are to our budget and to our operating costs, and which ultimately, is for students and the student achievement there. I'm also happy for people personally that they've locked in that rollback and credit from that the state pays it, and that no one has to worry about that ever being pushed back on them, because I think I've mentioned before that's part of some of the shtick in some of these legislative things is they're touting that they're saving you money by, we're not going to allow emergency levies, for example. However, anybody who had an emergency levy that was getting those rollbacks paid by the state, now it's going to have to be a new money levy, and those are going to be paid by the taxpayer. So it's going to end up costing them more anyway. So it's kind of like the bait and switch type thing. It sounds good, but if you really look at the details, the taxpayer will end up paying more. And so the fact that this was passed continuing locks that in. For our community and for our residents to not have to worry about that ever being taken away from them. So just wanted to thank everyone for that, and then looking forward to Capitol Conference next week, and you'll be hearing from me tomorrow with some details about different things to get you ready to go for Sunday.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Oakley. Brings us to item G, Superintendent CEO's business. Dr. Salka.
Thank you, Ms. Coco. It's recommended that the Board of Education approve all items listed in the superintendent's consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Some routine items here relative to personnel. We have some substitutes and classified staff. We have our coaching for winter sports, event workers, the leaves of absences, and then a couple of appointments. And then I want to mention a couple of some of the retirements. We see that we have several more that came in, and just as a reminder, December 1st is really when people can declare, and then it says they don't need to be evaluated, and then there's a little bit of a bonus there if they do. So we have Joan, how do you say your last name?
Alio.
Alio. 8th grade language arts teacher. She is retiring. We have Scott Hazel, our Preston custodian, and I know he's going to be greatly missed. They love him over there. He's such a hard worker. Gina Randolph is one of our ISGIs who's now working at the preschool. So she's retiring. Beth Van Houten is at Lincoln Elementary, EL teacher. And we have James Winkleman, the PE teacher at the middle school. So we are wishing all of them well, and thanks for their service. All of their years accumulated. I'm sure it adds up to a lot. We also have the athletic workers payment schedule. This is not an increase. It's just to split the $50 into 25 so that in case they need more than one person to do JV, and I'm imagining that we might have a hard time finding people. That's maybe why they suggested it. And then we have the agreement for, this is the ESC of Central Ohio for professional development. For one of our math courses, we added as an alternative pathway to Algebra 2, and as a result, we had grant money that provided money for professional development, and now we've lost that funding. So we are going to use federal funds to pay for this this professional development, but it's part of the program that they have to have the professional development. And that's it.
Any questions or comments?
Running out of my teachers to retire, so it makes me feel old, but great people that I've known a long time.
Are we sure that Joni is,
Not enough years.
or
Yeah.
age-wise she can?
I think she had a hard time, I think, deciding, as many people do. It's a big decision. She struggled with it.
She's a friend that I worked with
Yeah.
at Bowling.
Yeah, I've known her. I've watched her kids grow
Yeah,
up.
I
We
know,
worked
it's
together on
something.
March of Dimes and all that.
Yeah, she, and then Beth and Steve. Gosh, just doesn't seem.
Ms. Stokely, please call the roll.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Aye.
Ms. White?
Aye.
Ms. Coco?
Aye.
Mr. Gomez?
Aye.
Mr. Harris?
Aye.
I forgot one thing in my comments.
You're not allowed.
Well, because I've already said it a bunch of times today, but it's Dr. Soloko's birthday.
Yes, it is.
So today.
Today?
Oh my
Oh.
With you guys
Done.
again. 3 years running.
I was
We're
gonna.
thrown off by
Oh my
capital
God.
conference.
I
Happy
know.
birthday, Doug.
Are we singing?
So happy
No, we
birthday.
That's okay, thank you though.
Take it
I
away.
don't
We
think-
did sing today. We got that, they spoiled me today at the board. It was very sweet.
Something like that.
Aw.
Sorry.
Thanks. She gave me a very funny
Thank you.
card today. I'll show you at a Capital Conference.
That's not inappropriate.
No, it's not.
You made it sound like
Hers wasn't, maybe some others.
it said, I'm
It
not
was cute.
saying you're old, but I am writing it.
That brings us to item H, Superintendent CEO's business, Dr. Selico, so you can share cards during your comments if you'd like.
Yeah, they're all back at the range. All right, thank you. Yeah, so I know probably a few of you will be mentioning this, and when I look back, we haven't met since the end of October, so it was even before Halloween, which were all those trunk or treats, so those were fun, right, up until the end there. And then we have a number of concerts, so the One More Time, we have the All City Band, which is next Thursday. We had the All City is tomorrow.
All City
Right?
Choir.
The choir is tomorrow, and then All City Band is next Thursday, and then we already had the One More Time. Trying to keep these all straight. We had, also is the play is this weekend, so that was last weekend as well. I think maybe Ms. Coco, you mentioned it. Don't
Yes.
spoil it. I'm going tomorrow night, or Friday night.
The plot's a secret, obviously.
Yeah, right? Yes, don't know what it's about. I love that. I actually am excited for this one. I want to also thank the community. I know Ms. Stoikoi did for the passage of the levy. Really appreciative of the community support. We had for another couple of events, we had our Soups Troops fundraiser. We did a donation, so that's our seniors. I have a small group this year, but we went around to every school. We had a little challenge of what people could bring in to help the good neighbors, and so we collected a lot of stuff. I was really impressed, and we gave away a Cuyahoga Falls Spirit bag. Richardson student won that, so we collected that, and that was an enjoyable time. And they were very appreciative at Good Neighbors, so we were able to bring some joy to the holidays for some students and children. The Family Center Festival, we had that, seems like a while back, but it was wonderfully done, and appreciative of all of our partners who helped bring, again, some coats, hats, gloves to our children in need. So we had a dinner for those families, and that was really great. Our sponsors that helped make that happen, Ms. Merkel and her staff who organized it, did a very nice job, and I know some of you were there, so you may share that as well. I have been on my tour of classroom observations. I was at a school today, I was at a school the other day. I think I have two or three schools next week, in which I'll, as you may recall, I focus in, rather than just my normal walkthroughs, I spend some time in each classroom where I can actually sit and observe and kind of make some notes about what I'm seeing in the classroom. So I see 4 teachers in each building. I'll do more at the high school. So I'm in that tour. And then we met for our memorabilia committee. We made some progress. I sent out a document. We're trying to come up with different categories, again, of all the different things that we have in the 3 buildings. So we're trying to figure out what we're taking with us, what we will give back to our alumni and community, that we, trophies and all of that. There's a lot. We will have boards in the new campus, so we'll be capturing those awards. So we're taking pictures of each one, and then we'll put the name of it, and so people can scroll through, and there'll be a search button and all of that people can scroll through and see those awards, and then what we'll go over to Preston in our little museum that we're putting together. I'm calling it a museum. I don't know if that's the right word, but that's what I've been calling it. So we've made some good progress there. And then lastly, there's many things, but I'm just going to mention that we committed to, in the move, we've been talking about what we will be doing, the supports we'll be providing for not just staff, but students as well, and the transitioning time. So they'll be going, and I know we have a meeting next week, but I'll mention it anyway tonight, that they'll be going on those tours the week of that Thanksgiving Tuesday with the turkey trot. They're coinciding that for middle school, and then the first week of December, our high school students will go. And then the other portion of that day, I am actually going to hold a little assembly with our students and talk about expectations for the new building and the investment. They'll have just seen the building and walk through it, and then they'll meet with me in the afternoon about the expectations of how we're going to treat the building and how much the community has invested in them, and let's show our appreciation for that, and then talk about some other things relative to like cell phone and some policies and what we're looking forward to, and what if there is any type of mistreatment of the building, what the consequences will be for that, because I shared with you all before, have very high expectations for our students and their behavior, as well as our staff knows that I'm very particular in what we're gonna put on the walls, and what we're not gonna put on the walls, and how we're gonna make sure that things remain nice. Not that anyone would intentionally not do that, but just that we can safely and hang things, etc., rather than putting tape, like at home when kids put tape on my walls, I freak out, so. Because then along come when you take that down, sometimes fake comes with it. So those kinds of things. So I just want to let you know that we're gonna have some, it won't be a long assembly, but get a chance to talk with the students directly.
I like to say, just because you can't see a camera doesn't mean a camera can't see you.
Yeah, that's right.
It's been pretty effective
Yeah.
with some, like,
Yeah,
there's a lot more cameras in the new building. Just because you can't see one doesn't mean one can't see you.
that's right.
The
There you go.
technology is vastly improved.
That's a good way to say it.
And frankly,
Yeah.
there's very few places you can't see a camera in the new building.
Yeah, there's hundreds.
Isn't Mr. Hutch can testify to
Yeah,
that?
hundreds. And I don't want to come at it from a punitive stance and think that, our students are not going to, yeah, right. But there's going to be a small percentage of students who are going to make some poor choices. And I say that from experience of being in new buildings or hearing stories from my colleagues or friends that are teachers and telling me these stories of things being ripped off walls, etc. So we know it happens. I'm not saying that it's just because it's our children. It happens everywhere. But we want to make sure that we are not doing those things in our buildings, because this is a very big commitment on the part of this community, and I take that very seriously.
So going back to the historical at Preston, I think you said,
Yes.
do you need band uniforms or majorette uniforms? Do you
Wait,
want,
that's plural.
I have one of each. I also have blankets with
Oh.
all the old schools and all the elementary
Oh,
and
wow.
all the schools in the district. I have two of those.
Wow. Well, we could take a look. Yeah, let's see what comes,
If I can find
how
them,
much
I
we
will.
have. Yeah.
I will bring them in.
Yeah.
I don't know, I just, I don't really, where am I gonna put them? No,
Yeah.
I can't wear the band majorette, so forget it.
Yeah. Wow.
That's the dress
We'll
code
see.
for the ribbon cutting. You're supposed to wear that.
I don't
Oh,
think
that
so.
would be great.
gonna wear it.
Good.
I don't think I can fit into it.
You wear the major and I'll wear the band one.
I think it'll be the other way around. I don't know who could fit into that thing. It's like a size 2 or some 4.
Oh.
I
don't
believe
know.
in you.
Jeez, no, no. I mean, I've lost some weight, but not that much. But anyway,
But that was all I had, Ms. Coco. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that brings us to item I, board business. Item 1 is approval of the school year 2026-2027 calendar. It is recommended that the Board of Education approves the 2026-2027 school year calendar for the Cuyahoga Falls City School District.
So moved.
I'll second.
Discussion?
Will we be sending this out to families like this week then?
Christine,
I'm sorry?
calendar, when the calendar will go out? Send it out
Whenever.
right, as soon as we get approval? We can
Yeah.
send it out?
Okay.
Mhm.
Approval. Yeah.
Okay, Ms. Stokely, please call the roll.
Ms. White?
Aye.
Ms. Coco?
Aye.
Mr. Gomez?
Aye.
Mr. Harris?
Aye.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Aye.
Item 2 is adoption of the policies. It is recommended that the Board of Education adopts following policies that were previously read in our last meeting for first read.
So moved.
So, okay, I thought you were gonna read them.
I
Second.
am not reading this, and we
Again.
read the whole list last time and went through all of them. so.
Well, we usually do, so I was waiting, but, yeah, it's fine.
Any discussion? Okay, Ms. Stokely, please call the roll.
Ms. Coco?
Aye.
Mr. Gomez?
Aye.
Mr. Harris?
Aye.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Aye.
Ms. White?
Aye.
Item 3 is discussion of the 2026 board meeting dates draft, which everyone has a copy of. I know there were a couple items on here that Dr. Selico, you wanted to discuss as well, and I will not be on the board for this meeting schedule, so I'm going to let
Ms.
the
Zimmerman
others
has a
discuss.
copy
Yes,
too.
awesome.
Do you want to start in January and go from there? Does anyone have any issue with any dates that aren't the ones that they noted that we need to talk about?
No.
Okay.
I'm good.
So I don't think we want to do it on January 7th since it's open house night at the high school. And we probably all want to go to that anyway. And Dr. Selko's not coming to our board meeting.
We did talk about that one, yeah, then we didn't.
So
keep
can we
going.
do the
Yeah.
organizational meeting on the 14th, but move it to 5:15?
Yeah.
And then do regular meeting to immediately follow? Does that work
That
for
works.
noticing? Okay. That way our families can be there and then we don't have to delay, like we don't, because if we say 5:45, then if we're done and we take pictures and then we have to sit until 5:45 if there's extra time. Does that work for everyone? Ms. Zimmerman, does that work for you?
5 o'clock,
5:15 on this
I'll
14th.
just move that to, yeah.
May 27th.
We do need to talk about the one at the end of June, but I can wait till
Yeah.
we get there.
May 27th is about retirements. So we used to have like a whole separate retirement thing, but then we got rid of that for different reasons. And then
We know we're gonna have a lot of retirees this
we
year,
moved
right?
it into a board meeting. I would say, well, it won't be Top Tiger 2 though, because Top Tiger would be the 13th. So do you think it would be okay if we did it that way? Because they'll be separate.
Yeah,
Top
like-
Tiger will be the 13th, and retirement would be the 27th.
and try not to have much else on the agenda, maybe.
I mean, who knows?
I know, we don't know, but yeah, I mean, because we know there'll be a lot of retirees,
Yeah.
and I think they each speak, and yeah, so it'll take some time.
It also depends on who decides to come too, though.
That's right.
Because every year it's a
Yeah.
dice roll of who decides to come. Some people choose not to.
Well, we could try, I think what we could control is like no presentations that evening, right, other than
Yeah.
that? And we make that our main focus of the
Because we
evening?
don't have to do the 5-year forecast in May anymore either.
Yeah, right.
I think that was
days
part
in
of
a
what,
row.
I think
It's 2
that's
days in
part
a
of
row.
what, actually part of what made last year so long was we
Yeah.
had that and
Yeah.
5-year forecast.
Yeah, that could be.
So are we okay with that then?
Yep.
Okay.
And then June.
Christy, you got June.
Okay, so the issue is not just mine alone, it kind of impacts like the July section too, so looking at, so June and July together. So the 24th is too early for me to have that year-end meeting.
Because it'd be a whole week.
It'll be a whole week. So there's a couple different things we can do.
We just have a special meeting just to close
We
the
could have a
book.
special meeting just to close the books. You could move it to, the 30th, which is a Tuesday. But I think it all is gonna depend too on how the July, like the timing in between all of them, like what's happening with the other.
Yeah, Chris did put 2 on in July in here because we keep having to have special meetings in July, Dr. Selko.
I know, and because that's what we talked about, the problem we have then on the HR end is, hiring. So
Do
July
those dates
10th
work for you for July
They
in
do.
terms of hiring?
Yeah, I think that they do, and that's why we proposed them, because July 10th is really the day that people can get out of their contract. So the closest you could do to the 10th is the best bet. And then you don't really want people hanging from July 8th to August 12th, not knowing if they're gonna be hired. So that one in the middle of July would be helpful. So that
If
kinda
we
works
do
out.
June 30th, I don't think we need one on June 24th too. Thoughts, folks?
I'm good with whatever, I'm,
That's too-
you know,
that's
free.
That's,
a little
I mean,
too,
that would've
a little too much in the summer.
right.
It's a little too much in the summer for
It
me
is.
personally.
Yeah, I'm fine with
If
that.
I'd like to, go on vacation, if any of us are
If anyone
trying to
wants
go
to
on
go on
vacation,
vacation.
it's a little prohibitive
yeah.
if we're meeting every week in June.
Yeah, that would have been my suggestion, other than if you just wanted to do strictly just a special meeting, which can be, I know, typically all that's done here, but it really is just the closing of the typical things. There's not anything out of the ordinary that happens, like you could do it at any time with, as long as there's 3 of you, so that's, but the 30th also works just as well.
But it's easier just to make it a regular though,
Yeah.
because then if there's stuff that needs to, we could throw it on.
Yep.
That works for me.
So Tuesday, June 30th work for everyone?
So no 24,
No 24.
and we're gonna do a
Let's give-
Tuesday meeting.
Yeah, a break, give ourselves a little bit of a break.
And then we won't have January 7th either.
And then the November one, they'll announce when Capitol Conference is
Yeah.
next year at Capitol Conference, so we'll find out that in short order and come back and,
As long as they still do it Sunday through Tuesday, you shouldn't have any.
yeah, we used to meet the Wednesday after all the time anyway. I mean,
We are
if we would've,
actually-
Yeah.
yeah, and if we would, it would've been normal time, we would've now, so I don't think it's a problem. Yeah, and then meeting location. I know we've talked about, meeting in that space, like where language arts is, that in the high school, the new high school, on the main floor of the high school, the collaborative space, but it also depends on how that's getting used. If we can actually use that as a
And
meeting space
furniture.
or not.
Yeah, we actually talked about this morning.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to go today and just take a peek, but my schedules it just didn't
So,
work out.
we've talked about that, but it depends how that space is gonna be used. Cause if that space is being used and they're like
Yeah.
leaving projects out there,
Yeah.
well, I think it's great that it's being used for education, and I'd rather that continue to be used for education than us come and interrupt it and they not be able to use it as much for education because we're gonna be coming in and interrupting
and
that space.
And I intentionally waited to look for spaces because I want to see all the furniture. So now most of the furniture is in, so I can envision like because I know what's sort of in there, but we also have some soft furniture, meaning like little couches and things in different areas, and how hard is it to reorganize? And so we really brainstormed today. We didn't come up with any great ideas, honestly, for space. Collaboration is one, and I mean and I don't know that this board would want to do this. Some boards will do them in the auditorium where you're on the stage and people are in the audience, if you will. I mean, that's not uncommon. City council meetings are sort of run in forums like that sometimes. So that is an option. It's easy for people to get in and out in the auditorium parking wise. Because the other thing I was worried about is having people have to walk all throughout, the
Yeah.
building to get to a space.
Yeah.
I'd like it somewhere where it's relatively simple to enter and get to. So I was gonna spend some time in there. The good news is we're not getting kicked out of this building right away. We can still meet in here in January if we have to. I was trying to get us to the new campus, but if you just give me a little bit of time, I'm gonna go visit again. And when you guys are all there, please feel free to look.
I mean, the cafeteria might work.
You could see the
Yeah,
cafeteria.
that would work as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the seating we know is there. It's doable. We just have to see where we'd set up. Because what the problem is with our spaces, they're wonderful and beautiful, but the challenge is they're long and narrow. So this is, wider where you can get people. The media center's long and narrow, the cafeteria is kind of long and narrow, and so, I mean, it's, again, they're doable, but.
A black box.
Black box we talked about as well, but the seating is weird because you have different
Yeah.
tiers.
Yeah.
I'd rather do the auditorium than I'd pick that before the black box, but.
But parking for the auditorium
Yeah.
until Bullock is torn down is
It's
gonna be
not-
terrible.
Yeah.
That's right.
And that's what we talked about for ribbon cutting.
Yep.
That's why we
That's a
poo-pooed
challenge.
that, so.
Yeah.
um,
That's true. And if the board wants to stay here, we can. It's,
I don't think we want to.
yeah.
Yeah.
We don't love this?
Yeah, I think that collaborative space or the cafeteria are probably gonna be our best bets in terms of space, cause I don't think the media center is going to facilitate a meeting.
Yeah, it's wonky. It's the way it's,
If there's
Private.
games going on in the middle school, high school gyms, the student dining area might be noisy.
that's true. They will be. Gyms are right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll take a look, and
Yeah.
I plan on going there again and seeing, I'll take a look when you guys are there. And if anyone wants to ever join me, we have occupancy, so we can go any time of the day,
We do.
in and out. So
Okay.
I'm happy to take anyone with me if you want to come.
So in January, we'll stay here.
No, hopefully not.
We don't
okay.
know.
Well,
let me
know.
I don't
Hopefully
care. I'm
not.
fine. I don't really care, but, you know, let
Hopefully
me
we can
know.
figure it out by
Yeah.
then.
Make sure I know where I'm going.
But
But-
for purposes, I think you raised it, Mr. Gomez, I'm assuming,
Yeah.
because it's on here, it says locations, right?
Yeah.
We just left it there. We didn't do anything to
Um,
it, but.
But Christy
Okay.
just has to know at least 3 days before our organizational meeting.
Yeah.
Or 2 days or whatever the law says. It's either 2 or 3, I always get confused. 2, 48 hours. She has to know at least 48 hours before 5:15 PM on January 14th,
We really push it.
Okay.
which is my dad's birthday, but he'll be celebrating at a board meeting for at least 15 minutes.
It would be really nice too with the top tigers, especially the younger top tigers, if they don't have older siblings that are in the new 6 through 12 campus, to get that excitement and get to be there in that new
Oh,
building
that was-
right away. and-
A question
When
I
they
have
come
too.
in,
We're
so.
gonna do Top Tigers next year at the first meeting then, instead of the second of the month?
Well, no, we usually do them at
I thought we did them
the second meeting. Does
Okay.
it say it on here?
No,
No.
I thought
No,
you
we'll
were
do it at the
talking-
normal.
Okay.
No, the May one, I just said we always do it at the first meeting in
That's
May.
right, you're right.
So that they have
Because
enough
the
time to
graduation,
know
right,
about.
Right.
So they can walk
graduation
in
and
the
all that.
parade.
Well,
Okay.
graduation and
Yeah.
so that they have enough time to know to walk in the
Okay.
parade, because
Okay.
otherwise they don't
It's
get
only
enough
that one.
notice.
All right, I was a
Yeah,
little confused there. Thank you.
we always do it the first
Yep.
one in May, because otherwise it gets too.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I just
Two
was a little,
changes to the calendar?
Just 2,
Confused.
I think Tuesday, that June,
So January and June.
and then
are the two changes.
January are the 2 changes.
Is that all there is, board?
Yeah, and then, yeah, because I think we can keep the 18th regardless.
Great.
I'll make those changes.
Thank you very much.
Is it? Never
Do you have
mind.
more?
No.
Okay.
I thought September 9th was the first Wednesday, and then I had to do math.
Oh, that is the
No,
second and
past
the
the
ninth.
7th, so, yeah.
Yeah, there's 3.
Yeah. Well, it's past the 7th, so it couldn't
Right.
possibly be the first. My failure of math.
Right, that brings us to item 4, discussion of our work session. We're planning on doing a work session for the discussion on boundaries. And tentatively, we had set that date, that everyone could be available on the 20th at 5:30 for that work session. So I guess open the discussion to, I think there's a couple different things that need discussed with this. First of all, with that being on the 20th and doing the work session, just as a board, what our expectations are for that work session. I think that we're all in agreement that this is a big decision. We had the presentation, there were a lot of questions, not only from us on different items, but then from the community as well, as it was shared out. And we need time to actually come together in group and have that open working time before we were to move forward with the decision that the expectation is by the end of the year. So that's the first part of the discussion, would be the work session itself and what is our goal at the end of that work session. And then the second part of that would be the community involvement in the decision itself, how we're going to, that was discussed before. So we need to make some decisions on that as well. And I think that both of those things together then will play into our dates, tentative dates moving through the end of the year in order to have a decision by the end of the year. So,
Can we set the date, time, and location first?
yes.
Okay, because you and I had talked about a different date. Does that date not work for everyone?
The 20th works
For everyone? The
for
20th does
everyone.
not
I think
work.
that works.
Okay.
I think there was some discussion about where the meeting was going to be. And if it was going to be here, or the question had brought up DeWitt, if DeWitt was an option. So I think we need to iron out that piece of that. The 20th, I know, is the date that all of us are available at 5:30. I know Dr. Selick and I both have commitments at 7 p.m. that day here at the school. So if we had the meeting at 5:30, you know, if we go into it with our objectives and know what we're going to do, we can easily be done by 7 to make our other commitments. So that date did work for that. So the other part of that was with the work session. I know that we'll be noticing it out to the community. We probably would not be doing our discussion on the 19th. If the board is all in agreement, it would not be on the agenda for the 19th, because at this point, until we have a work session and really know what we're presenting and what we're doing, we don't really have anything to have put on the agenda as a discussion on the 19th. We want to make sure that the community knows that, and we can get that out on Parent Square, and Christine can get it out in other forms of communication as well, so that everyone knows that that would be on the 20th, a work session that we would be doing. And then we would need to decide after that how the community involvement piece works. At least that's my understanding of it. But I want to hear from all the board members too on their thoughts, so that we're all on the same page. But the 20th does work for, I know, everyone here.
So on the 20th work session, would be meeting here at the high school, since the concert is here at the high school? Or are we meeting at DeWitt? Or we're meeting here, correct?
That is what.
Or we're discussing that?
That's what we were discussing, to make sure
Okay.
everyone's on the page.
Okay.
My recommendation would be to have it here, and it's not only for the fact that we have a commitment here. For me,
Logistically, that makes sense
logistically,
on
that makes
date.
sense, and it's going to be open to the community, but also it's a work session for the board that night, for us to come up with a plan and discuss all the information that we have. And I think that my recommendation would be that would be separate as a work session from something with the community. But we also have a time constraint on us through the end of the year, and only one scheduled board meeting after that. So, and I know that a lot of us have multiple commitments throughout December as well. So that's why we're having this discussion, because I think we need to all be on the same page with the timeline of things and what we're doing in those meetings.
Okay.
So if you have thoughts, please share.
I have thoughts, so, okay. Obviously, this is a very large decision to be made. I went to meet with, Ms. Johnson about how the program works that she's using to look at the bus routes and, you know, look at all the dots on all the streets and how that divides up. And the way my brain works, I have to see it in motion to see it, how it works. And I have to discuss it out loud and that isn't necessarily helpful for other people to, to go through it with me. So it was helpful for me to go and do that without encumbering everyone with all of that. So when I met with her, going through all this how the scenarios work, and very, very tedious to move all the lines, just to move, if you move one little street, and I know she said it many times, you move one dot, it could be one child, it could be 10 children, and she said it, but then to see it is something else. So when we meet for this work session, will we be looking at some scenarios presented to us, or will she be manipulating data at that time to show us different scenarios? And the reason that I asked that is because when I spoke to her, she said she would be nervous to do that in front of people, because then people's data could pop up. So to do that in front of the general public would put people's, you don't want people's names out there.
We would not be able to do
So,
that.
we can't just, put a monitor on the screen that we can all just be looking at it. So how would that information be presented to us, and are other people going to be? How would we be doing that? And what would be presented? Do you know what I'm saying? So I've spent a lot of time thinking about it and mulling it over. Is she going to present us with a
No.
couple options, or are we going to make a couple suggestions? Is she going to kind of go back to the drawing board and then give us some? I mean, I don't.
That was my question.
Yeah, I've been
What's this
thinking a
gonna
lot
be?
about, obsessing a little bit over it. So,
Eh.
what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, my recommendation, one, we did, Ryan just recently printed out big maps for each of you to have, and you can actually take them with you if you'd like, not tonight, but that night. Well, they're the scenarios 2 and 3, so you could at least look at them, and then if you wanna, look at what streets, et cetera.
It would
we
be
know.
helpful to have those in advance.
Okay,
Yeah.
are they, oh, they're here?
I might have them ready now.
Oh,
Let me
cool.
see.
Look at that, that would be great.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that you could play around with them. The challenge is if we just continue to say, there comes a point where I guess we just have to say, we can't just keep saying manipulate this, do this, move this, like
Right.
this, and this. We have to be comfortable and land somewhere.
Yes, and
okay.
she was very, very gracious with her basically lunch period with me, and I gave her a lot of suggestions, like, what if you did this?
Yeah.
Because that's how I was that's how I was accepting her information, and she was very gracious with her time. And can you? Oh my goodness gracious!
So I have one set ready. I'll have the rest. But if someone wants to take one home now, I mean, I've got one ready.
Go ahead, Gary.
I think, well,
I had the perfect place for
I
that.
think Miss White lives, I'm sorry, the furthest away. If she would want to take hers with her, I think the rest, I'm just saying the rest of us could swing
Yeah, I
by
live
and get
next door to the
those
board
from
office.
the
If you want to have them
border.
delivered in your Friday notes,
That works.
Okay.
if you want to just wait and have them all delivered at once.
Yeah.
Shove them all in there,
We can do
yeah.
that.
When he
Thank
said
you.
a large
But
map,
sneak
that was not
peek.
what I was picturing.
Right.
That is a large map.
That's like a comically large.
I'm glad you brought up that point, and yes, to have them ahead of time, because I think if we all get those delivered to us Friday, then by the 19th,
Yeah,
we can look over and we can gather our questions and everything, and we can come prepared, and maybe we're not each gonna have our big maps laid out, but we had one set of the maps laid out on the table
Yeah.
where we can all bring our feedback and then discuss would
Well,
maybe
for
be the best
example, I said,
option.
hey, this looks like a great natural border. What if we moved it here? And she kind of looked at me and smiled, and she's like, yeah, let's try that. And she tried that, and it moved 134 students. So it was, I was like, oh, I thought it would move like 30 students.
Yeah.
It was 134 students. So, I mean, and we all can appreciate that it's a big job. We can all appreciate that it is a tedious undertaking, but I honestly did not realize how delicate of a process it was until I could see the dots moving.
And if I could just make a point, because I was going, and I'll probably say it next time too, but some of the feedback and questions and talking with folks, maybe we didn't articulate this and maybe it will help people understand. You know, sometimes the question of, it is a lot of pressure on Margie, like we've heard that from various people, and it is. Just so you know, we've folded in, you know, Mr. Elder from the Student Services Department to kind of assist, and Ms. Shaw has been taking part in that. I've been sitting in meetings with her, and again, I don't know that we're much help when it comes, like you, Ms. Schaefer, what you're describing, but, you know, the reason we're choosing this software is to, once again, save us taxpayer money from the expense. We looked years, and I can't find the quote because we dismissed it, and Ms. Coco, you were on that little committee that we had years ago, a couple years back, but it was $15,000, I recall, or something to come in and do the work. It was a little bit more involved, because I think it was when we started to talk about schools, et cetera, but it wasn't cheap. And the software that we have now, we didn't have back then, and this is just, as you know, TransFinder's relatively new, maybe a couple years now, but it does what we need it to do. Now, the challenge of, again, the pressure that you put on one person maybe is unfair, and, you know, that's why we have other eyes, you know, now looking at it. But that's the reason when people ask if we're not involving others, why that is, or, you know, why we don't have a different answer, a GIS system, which I'm familiar with, we've used in other scenarios, but it's a big cost, and we just didn't want to.
And we also do have a routing specialist
We
as
do.
well.
We do.
That works with
Yeah.
Margie all day, every day.
That's right, good point. Yep.
As to my questions, I asked them at the last presentation. My questions are about what I believe are the unnecessary moving, where you have the 18 kids from this building moved here and the 9 from this building move here. And I want to feel that that's justified before I would vote for it. I understand that kids are going to be disrupted in this map, and ultimately, we knew that from the beginning. That, as much as none of us like it, I can live with, because I understand that that's the reality. But this 9 kids go from this school to this school, and then 18 go from that same school back to that school. That's what I need answers to, and I said that at the previous meeting, and that's what I'm looking for answers to, of why that is and why that has to be.
So would our goal of the work session, if we,
I asked that question,
Yeah.
and do you want me to say what she told me, or do you want me to?
I want to be walked through every single scenario and
okay.
have each one justified, because those families are going to reach out to us and ask us, and we have to have answers for them. It can't just be a generic answer.
So and I can appreciate that, but since you brought that up, I'm gonna tell you what I was told. So when you have the 9 people going out to one school, but 18 people coming in from another school, so when the lines are drawn, then you have a hard line, so people are moving to different schools. But those are like forever lines of people going to new schools. So when those kids graduate and go to, and you have new people coming in and out of those homes, those houses are forever gonna be at that school though, so you can't move people in and out of those.
Basing it on 1 year, because that's what the team has
Base it
said.
on the
yeah.
1 year and say
Yeah.
those 9 kids are gonna go to this school this year, but when those kids graduate, then
Yeah.
whoever lives in that house the next time is gonna go to the other school. So that's just, the houses are gonna stay the same. And it's just gonna be kind of a hard line drawn. And I know that I did not explain that properly, but
I'm sure Margie can
but she
explain
could,
it
she
better
did
in the
have,
work session.
I understood when she explained it, and is she coming to the meeting? I think that she'll be able to explain it better, obviously than I did. Because they're not the same kids going in and out,
Yeah,
I thought she
I
wasn't
caught
presenting.
what you were meant. what you were
She'll
saying.
be here. Well, that's why I suggested maybe the work session, that we can just have more of a dialogue. Is there a formal presentation? No, unless the board is looking for one, but
I
she'll
don't
be
think
here
we
to
need a
answer
formal
questions.
presentation.
No.
Well,
I think it's necessary.
I guess for the work session, like, this is great conversation about what we need out of the work session. Ultimately, what is our ultimate goal at the end of the work session? Is it for Margie to go back and be able to give us 2 concrete scenarios? Is it for her Is it just to get our questions answered and then to vote on the scenarios we already have? What are we looking, what is our end game for this work session to make sure that we reach that goal?
Right, that's what, because that's what I mean, it's, to me, is it more, to me, it sounds like a meeting from Archie to tell us that's not gonna work, that's not gonna work, that's not gonna work. But I'm glad, it gives us an opportunity to at least present those questions to her.
Well, I would say if they can present two different scenarios, then it's obvious that adjustments can be made to other scenarios, because obviously there are multiple solutions to this problem if there are at least two scenarios that they believe can work. So there are obviously some adjustments that can be made to either scenario.
100%.
At minimum, to make scenario 2, scenario 3, or scenario 3, scenario 2. So
Agreed.
there are adjustments that can be made, so
Correct.
that I don't think the answer can be, we can't make any adjustments.
Are we gonna see
But
something?
would the end game be to take the scenario 2 and 3 and give our recommendations so that she can do that so that she can walk away at the end of that work session with our feedback and do so?
I would hope so.
would hope so.
like that
Right.
to be.
I think so.
And not to give us anything that is not
And
workable.
answer our questions or concerns,
I think so.
so, yes.
I think so. Like, we're not gonna say this is it printed, but she could
Yeah,
take something and then make it the end. I think.
I agree. I think that's good.
Okay. So-
Because I'm terrible. I'm vertically
Is that
challenged and I'm
Is that
direction
her
challenged.
expectation of the meeting as well, do you think?
She's waiting for me to give feedback,
Okay.
so I will share what you said this evening with her.
So we're all in agreement that it's on the 20th at 5:30 in the library work session. It will get noticed.
And it should be
out.
recorded then since it's a hot topic for families.
Yeah.
And we should let our families know, like send a message or whatever as we have before.
And in that message, I would recommend including that we are not having it on the agenda on the 19th.
Yep.
And that we're doing the work session on the 20th. And it's, open to the community for those who come, that want to come.
And commenting or public comment?
Yeah, it's an agenda item, so under our policy, they can give
We might do that
comments.
question.
They could.
Okay.
at the end of board discussion, just like any other.
Okay.
Can I ask a clarification about sending information out to families? We usually put information out on Wednesday nights. Does this need to go out before Wednesday?
Yeah, we have
Yes.
to, because next week
Yes.
is the 20th, Thursday's the 20th.
Because as of right now, our communication was that we were gonna talk about it on the 19th.
Right.
Right.
So we need to get out
So
really
the sooner
tomorrow.
we can get it
Yeah,
out,
the
the
last time
better.
she did an all-call was a Monday night.
Okay, that's what I just wanted to find out how this was.
I'll do it tomorrow.
The all-call
So we'll
all-call
do an all-call then?
about the previous one was a Monday night.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I have a question too. Because we're really going to be discussing like a document, and it's like a scenario 1 and a scenario 2, we're gonna be kind of digging into that, and will it be live stream, like normal board meeting? It will be kind of a little bit frustrating if people can't follow along with it.
Well, the maps that have been sent out are actually the ones you're gonna be looking at. So
Okay,
people
so
do
we
have
can
access.
refer to
I
that.
could,
It'll be
but we
kind-
could attach them to my message.
Okay.
Again, I could send them out again.
No, they're on the
That would
board.
be.
They are.
okay.
They're on
And
the
they're on the
board
website.
side.
Yeah,
site.
I am on the website too. But I can also mention, this is where you can find them.
Okay, yeah.
How's that? Yeah.
That way they could kind of follow along at home.
And if we mention street names, I mean, anybody
Good
will
luck.
Yeah,
I'm
if
terrible.
Little map.
it affects you, then you'll know the street.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
I
Okay.
think. My bad. You tell me to go north, I'll go south. I just
Even Dr. C.
do. I'm a bit terrible at directions.
That's all right. Dr. Salika, we're gonna help you learn this community one way. We're gonna help you learn these streets one way or another, Dr.
I
Salika.
know. I did get lost the other day, I'm not gonna lie. Wrong turn.
It is
got
hard to
lost
learn this,
up
sometimes
at
I think it's
Edgewater
harder to
for
learn the
me,
city
so.
with the GPS. Sometimes you may get lost and turn your
I
GPS
actually
and
do
just
that.
drive on,
No, I
yeah.
do that, and then I kick myself for doing it. If
Yeah.
I have extra time, I allow that to happen, because I can just count on getting lost.
It's okay, I've lived here all my life and I still get lost at times, so.
That brings us to future agenda items. Item 5.
Would you like me to
Anyone over
tell you
there?
what's on there now?
Sure.
For the,
I know we have a packed 19th.
Yeah, so the 19th, and I'm happy to,
No, it's not too bad. We have Top
Well, it's
Tiger.
we have the 9th, yeah, that, and then I had open enrollment discussion on that topic, that evening, presentation.
Oh,
Or at
it's
least
not
discussion.
packed because we have the work session now, so.
And
that's
then
good.
in December, we'll talk about, we're anticipating talking about boundaries.
Mhm.
We'll have Top Tiger, and we have the,
December 10th, Mr. Gomez, you're talking about?
yeah,
Yes.
December meeting, and we have the Student Success and Wellness.
Right.
So,
That's the panorama.
And everything.
okay, so right now he
Panorama.
has staff award Top Tigers, program of studies, boundary lines, and wellness committee, which is, what these are placeholders, so that's what you said, basically. But the programs
Well,
of
the
studies is
program of
also,
studies is
yeah,
new.
that's gonna be a
That's a
very long
lot.
night.
That is.
We probably should move something, I guess. Would you like to consider moving the wellness updates?
Wait, program of study.
No.
Program of studies is
It's gotta be
time
done.
sensitive,
Yeah, that has to be.
because that's our only December
Mhm.
meeting.
Mhm.
And wellness, that one, did you say no to moving that one, Mr. Gomez?
You know, because if we don't do it then, we won't get to it. It won't be
Wait.
timely.
Were you suggesting moving it
I was just
up?
thinking
Or
January.
It won't be
down? No, it
timely.
won't be.
Is there a date that's bound, are we bound to a date on that report out?
I don't know, but it just won't be timely because they've already done it.
You
And
talking about the panel?
it'll be, the information will be old.
Based on the date, the grant.
Mhm.
What's that?
It's based on the grant. This
Yeah,
report has to go to the board for the,
but by a certain date is what I'm asking.
correct, but since we're in the last cycle of this grant, it's important for us to get this last.
They won't have reported at all in this calendar year,
Okay.
so I think that should happen.
Okay. Okay,
Would
well,
there-
guess
I
we'll
don't see
hunker
why
down.
program of studies would be
Yeah.
that long unless they're making a lot of
Well,
changes.
actually, I'm glad you said that, because what Ms. Dudon's proposed, I have a list of, she has a very short list. I have not reviewed it yet. It's on my things to-do list this week, but I can get it in Friday notes, and if you don't, if you're good with it, she was fine with not even doing a presentation or a very brief one. So
Just
it
get
is,
it to
you're right,
us
it's
in
not gonna be long.
advance.
Yeah.
So I plan on getting that to you this Friday. I just have to review, I have some questions for her
Okay.
before we put it forward.
I don't think we need a huge, long presentation.
Yeah,
on that.
in fact, she could be here just to
So-
answer questions if you'd like, you know. And Ms.
So
Hausman will
that-
be here.
Okay. Brings us to item 6, committee reports.
Oh, okay.
Ms. White.
Well, it's really all pretty good. So we received the certificate of occupancy, so we are past all the inspections, everything is safe. Pretty much working on punch lists on every area, like the flooring, the plumbing, the HVAC, the tech, and just kind of wrapping everything up, getting it all ready and cleaned. They're replacing some damage to some doors, just things like that, you know, where we're missing a chair, figuring it all out and trying to get it all done and set. So basically just the punch list in every area. Let me see. The auditorium seating is complete. The signage is complete, and the dedication plaque. The trellis and planters will be done early this week, I think, if they're not. And then the things like that. So it's really coming along. And then we move to, of course, the moving company for the furniture, and I think that's coming along. There are some individual items that need to be place, but I think most of it is done. And then they'll clean up, and after everything is done, they'll go in and clean and everything really well, clean it all up. And then, the 6/12, the campus ribbon cutting will take place at 11 a.m. And on the December 5th, we will have just a little community event for our CLT team. And the ones that can be there just to go through it. They're the people that worked on this whole plan with us from the very beginning. So we wanted to offer them a little tour first before the whole community. So that'll be nice. And then, let's see. GeoSci independent testing reports, got the final approval letter complete. And then, yeah, I think that's really about the thermal imaging will take place on Thursday, 11/6. So, everything is coming. There's just a lot. There's a few things that we have to figure out still. The risers, we wanted 3 rows, but then they gave us one that has 4, I believe. We're trying to figure out how to change that or what to do. And the murals are another thing. Are we going to take more pictures? I don't know, but we're working on that. The health rooms, the folding tables will go to the high school. And then the press box light feature, there is a pole that's, if you're in the press box and you're looking out in the field, it's like right in your line of vision. So we'll lower that down so everybody can see in the press box the game and everything. So that's not too bad. And then we did have some lockers that we need to, I believe, do a change order to get a few more in the middle school. So, but they're figuring out all the problems. We're moving forward. It is almost ready to go. So that's the good news.
Can I talk about ribbon cutting committee?
Yes.
So ribbon cutting committee, we were pretty much planned all our work. Miss Stewart is doing her work, but we did our work. We planned our piece. So of course it's on December 6th at 11 a.m. at the new 612 building. It's going to be inside the cafeteria. And the kind of ceremony piece will be on the learning steps there in the cafeteria. And we'll have the pep band playing and cheerleaders greeting folks as they come in. And then the a cappella choir is going to sing the Star Spangled Banner as well as the alma mater. And then Dr. Selico, Ms. Coco will both speak, as well as both mayors. We'll acknowledge any dignitaries that are there, and then we'll do the ribbon cutting. All of us, Ms. Stoico, Dr. Selico, will cut the ribbon, and then we can have your future student, your Parker, my 2 little nephews, and then your middle schooler stand by you as we cut the ribbon to recognize the impact of this has on our families as well as we cut the ribbon. And then behind us will be a 6th through 12th grader standing behind us, and they're going to shoot off confetti cannons. And then,
Confetti cannons?
oh, surprise. And then as that happens, the pep band is going to play the fight song. So it's going to be really
That's nice.
wonderful
That's great.
ribbon cutting. And then for about 2 hours after that, there'll be some food for folks,
Hollywood
and
squares?
people can take, and people can take kind of self-guided tours through certain chosen areas. So not every classroom,
Right.
Not every little
Yeah,
nook and
yeah,
cranny.
but-
It's kind of like the
little
Stan
bit more
Hewitt
control.
self-guided tour, but not the nook and cranny tour
Right,
where you
right.
go down into the swimming pool. It's kind of the self-guided,
Right.
like, this is,
That's cool.
We
and you'll
could raise
kind
a
of
lot
get
of
to
money if we had people pay extra for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
maybe one day. Well, you'll
Like the
you'll
full
really
tour.
kind of get to see a little bit of everything, but not necessarily walk in every door because teachers will be setting up their classrooms
Yeah.
kind of and moving in by then, and we don't want to be too disruptive
Right.
to what's going
That's gonna
on.
be fun.
So it's going to be really, really beautiful.
And a day after my
wonderful.
birthday. That's a great
It's a great-
celebration.
And then
Great.
the dress is spirit wear, just to celebrate, because it's a celebration. Sorry, Miss Stewart.
Yeah. Spirit wear.
She
Thank
wanted
you.
you all in tuxedos and prom dresses.
She wanted formal attire, and I said,
I have a tux. You can wear it.
It's business for Cal.
we said spirit wear. We're celebrating.
That's good.
With a yellow tux.
You probably have a black tiger sweater
But-
somewhere.
I
It's-
did, but I
old.
think I gave it away, or, yeah.
It's funny,
It's
my
okay.
daughter actually heard that a 6th through 12th grader was going to be up there behind.
She's
not-
trying to
not for
figure
me.
out how to.
Well, no, she said, if another 8th grader gets to be up there, do I still get to be up there with you too?
Oh.
Yes, you do. Don't worry. It's not. So she was.
And
worried that
oh,
that
and
was gonna take
Michaela
her place.
Wilson's gonna speak as a student
Oh.
voice
Oh,
because she
okay.
spoke at the
Wonderful.
groundbreaking.
She did.
Yeah.
As a freshman, so that
That's
she'll
great.
be the 12th grader that stands up
Yeah.
there because
That's
it's only
excellent.
fair to let her stand up there.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
that's really
she
cool.
spoke as a freshman at the
That's
groundbreaking,
right.
so now she's a
And did
senior.
it fantastic.
Oh,
And
wow.
she'll be at the ribbon
Yeah.
cutting, and Dr. Salcom, I both thought that would be really
Yeah,
impactful.
that
She'll
is,
probably be standing around the exact same spot that she
Yeah.
stood at to deliver her speech.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's
Yeah.
really
It's
kinda-
nuts.
When I think of it.
Really
Yeah.
kind of a beautiful
So
thing.
It is.
well, it is very
you.
special, and it's finally done, and
It's exciting.
Thank you, Mr. Gomez, for adding that on. It's very exciting. You meet with athletics and activity on November 24th. And we have Business Alliance Council, Mr. Harris. and Ms.
Yeah.
Schaefer.
We talked a lot about, Dr. Selico went over the portrait of a black tiger with them. We talked a lot about that today, so I'll save that. We had a fantastic discussion and presentation from Ms. Stewart on the district's communications, which led to some lively discussion, which was great. I think they came up with some really good ideas that hopefully we can, you know, get going. So, but no, it was a great meeting, and like I said, you know, just really talking about the portrait of a black tiger, what that's going to look like, those sessions, all that stuff we talked about tonight. So,
Thank you, Mr. Harris.
Mhm.
Financial Advisory Committee meets November 25th. And we did have a foundation and alumni meeting last night. Just a couple of highlights. They were discussing packing up. They have a lot more here than what they're going to have room for at the new school in their office. So there was a lot of discussion over a lot of things that they would be, like yearbooks and things like that, that they have double, triple, quadruple of, getting those out for community members that would want them. And then for membership right now versus 2025, of last year versus this year. Last year at this time, they had 62, and at this time this year we have 114 members. And the donation size has significantly gone up as well with the memberships. So that's
Is there anyone we
awesome.
need to shame that didn't renew on the board?
I'm sorry.
Is there anyone we need to shame that didn't renew?
I did not look at who did or did not renew on the board,
I
so
can
just
say
if
that
you
'cause
did
I
not,
did.
I
I
did,
did, so
well,
I can-
I did my part as
need
the,
to, I did.
as being the trustee.
Yeah.
I did more than my part. So you know who you are, we'll just leave it at that. But then also they are, creating a separate committee for the teachers' grants this year because there is so, they have the ability to continue to give more and more teacher grants out.
really.
And the money to do so. And so they really want to make that kind of a separate entity. It was a lot for, one committee to do. And they really want to start promoting that as well as part of what the Alumni Foundation does, because they focus so much on the promotion of the scholarships, which is awesome and is the main thing that they do. But teacher grants is becoming a big part of that as well. So they really want to start promoting that in the community as well. So those were some highlights from that. That brings us to legislative. Mr. Harris.
Let me see. Some property tax stuff in committee, a lot of property tax stuff here. House Bill 129, House Bill 309, House Bill 186, House Bill 335, House Bill 124. Ms. Stoikoi, did I miss any?
Probably.
There's
I
a,
wouldn't know
You
at
know
this
about
point.
the Blue Ribbon Commission bill? So this is one of the new ones. They want to create this Blue Ribbon Commission where your county commissioners, or in our county, your county executive, and then they appoint 2 residents.
in here
And
somewhere.
then every mayor, 1 township trustee, and then every superintendent has to be on this committee, and then you have to produce a report, publish it online, and you have to talk about how you're gonna consolidate everything in your county, including school districts, townships, villages, cities.
I did see something
That's
about
their
that.
new thing.
That's, yeah.
Because they think it'll cost less money. I don't know that it necessarily will cost less money, cause what are you gonna, like, with buildings and stuff,
Right.
like, I mean, if we had started that way maybe, but
Right,
like,
yeah, what's the, yeah,
we're not created to govern and function in that way. Like, I
Right.
get the idea, they're looking at other states that were just created to be
Right.
that way, and I
Right.
understand what they're saying, but like, we don't have the infrastructure, so it would cost a lot of money to get us there.
right,
but
you would like to think that they think
That's
about
their
that
new
kind of
idea.
stuff. But, no, yeah, I did see something in there about that. Just trying to see if I have anything else here. There's some pretty like fringe things that are coming out of here. A Charlie Kirk American Heritage thing that would permit teachers to mention him. Rep Romer, our rep, focusing on the big issues here, encouraging, he's trying to push a resolution through that would encourage students in grades 1 through 12 to read the U.S. Declaration of Independence in the classroom for the 250th anniversary of the United States. So, but no, there's a lot of property tax stuff here, and Mr. Gomez mentioned the Blue Ribbon thing too, so.
And I think celebrating America's 250th anniversary is important.
It is.
But I don't know, one,
Super important.
that a first grader has the capacity to read the Declaration
Right.
of
Yeah.
Independence. I don't think it's written at their learning
Right.
level, so I'm just not sure, you know. I think it probably will be taught in a lot of our,
I was gonna say,
our
you would
classes
imagine
next
it would
year
be.
for America's
Right.
250th anniversary,
yeah.
but I think first, second grade, third grade, probably not at their reading level.
In full. You can read it in
But definitely something they should be educated on
Right,
for America's
right.
250th
I
anniversary.
agree, I agree.
Right.
That's it, thank you.
It brings us to item 7, comments, and I'm up first tonight. So first of all, I just want to say congratulations to Courtney Zimmerman and Mr. Gomez and Mrs. Schaefer on your re-elections and elections to the board. The community spoke loud and clear, and so congratulations to all of you. Thank you to our community for the passage of the levy. I know that it's been said multiple times. Again, the community spoke loud and clear on that as well, and I think that it speaks to the work that has been done here and how overall, yes, we can get sucked into talk of the town and all of those things, but overall, the voters spoke very loud and clear about the trust that they have in board members that were already on the board to reelect them and to also renew our levy. And so thank you to our community for going out and voting and making your voice heard, as they should. So just wanted to start with that. And then the OSBA Capital Conference, I'm excited to go to that with everyone this weekend. I did go see the Crucible. I will not ruin the plot for anybody who doesn't know what the plot of the Crucible is.
Not the plot, I just meant how
I
it
know.
was, how the performance was. I'm
There
Is it
is
a
a
surprise?
But they did a great job, and I'm always amazed at the amount of lines that these
Yeah.
students can learn and stand up there. And the language in the Crucible is not
It's not
easy
easy. It's not
at
like-
all. And so for them to be able to do what they did, it was really good.
And it's
So
really long.
It is
Two and a
long.
half hours.
it is long. It was 2.5 hours.
Oh,
I
wow.
was
Yep.
hungry for the end. But it was worth the 2.5 hours, so please, if you haven't gone, go see that. I did go to the One More Time concert, the big flag that comes down at the end, when, that gets me.
I know, right?
Every
Stars and
time.
Stripes.
Yes, the Stars and Stripes, and then the flutes and come out, and so that was great. I did not make it to the Fall Festival, that was that same night, but I did want to mention that I know that there were different organizations that have helped out a lot there, and the Elks being one of them. And I had a couple different of the members that were there that evening saying how impactful it was. You know, they've done a lot, and I know a lot of different organizations have done so much for the community center, but for them to actually see how it was impacting the families firsthand that night meant a lot. And just, they said, we know we're doing a great thing, but when you actually can see firsthand the impact that it's having on our families, it means a lot. So just want to thank you to everyone for everything they do, and to Holly, does an amazing job. So that's all from me. Mr. Gomez.
Yeah, I also want to thank our community for the overwhelming passage of our levy with 62%. I'll take 50% plus one vote any day, but 62% is very humbling, and I'm thankful to our community. I also enjoyed the One More Time, One Last Time. It was always a wonderful concert. I did make it out to the family event over at Price, and the balloon artist was so talented. I think I don't know if she was from the Elks. I don't know where she came from.
I
think
so.
the Elks hired her.
Hired? Oh.
They may
the
have paid
Elks,
for
okay.
somebody. Yeah, I've never
Yeah,
seen anybody
very,
make
very
balloons
talented.
there.
But the highlight of my night was my little preschool friend I was playing oversized bowling with, and he pointed at me and looked at his mom and said, "I like him. He's fun." So that was obviously the best part of my night. And then Ms. Schaefer and I did 4 trunk or treats, all our schools that had them. Just like to give out a couple awards. Silver Lake had the most trunks at their trunk or treat. However, Price was by far the most organized. So those are our little awards to give out to our trunk or treats. And I also want to say, Akron Children's Hospital has their holiday tree festival, and there are 3 trees that I know of, as along with a couple wreaths, all donated by folks connected with our school district. So the Lincoln Building Leadership Team donated a tree. The Lincoln PTA donated a tree. My sister and her kiddos donated a tree. This is their 2nd year. And for as many years as I know of, our National Art Honor Society donates 2 wreaths as well. So I'm really proud of how much support our community gives to that really wonderful cause. And I was also able yesterday to go to the Veterans Day Assembly at Lincoln, and it was really wonderful. Usually we're out of town for Capitol Conference, so it was great to actually get in one of our schools for that and just see how much they put into that. And now that we have the Space Force, there's enough songs for each of the 6 grades to have their own song to sing. So there's 6 songs, so they each got to sing a song for branch of the armed forces. And then
Space Force.
I don't know it either, but the folks the grade that sung it knew it very well and was very proud, even though there were, as you probably could guess, no Space Force veterans present. And then Mr. Englehart, who's a veteran that I think many of us know, spoke on behalf of the veterans there. So it was a really beautiful ceremony, and the kids were very well behaved for it. And then I did attend the OSBA delegate briefing on behalf of our board, because I'll be our delegate as well.
Thank you, Mr. Gomez. Mr. Harris.
Oh, yeah, just a congratulations, Ms. Schaefer, Mr. Gomez, Ms. Zimmerman. I'm looking forward to working with you, and you guys won fair and square, and like Ms. Kokos, I think it says a lot that we re-elected 2 folks that are already on here, and one who I witnessed showing up and putting in the work. So, Ms. Zimmerman, we're looking forward to working with you. And then, yes, thanks to the community voters for your support of the levy. We really appreciate that. I have not been able to make it as many things as my colleagues here. We have been in very, very severe into trenches and potty training at home. No sleep. It's been very, very stressful, but we're getting there. So I appreciate you all doing as much as you have. But we are, I'm looking forward to the very busy week we have coming up. We got a marathon, so Capitol Conference is always fun. So we'll get down there and bring back some cool ideas.
And some tchotchkes.
Yes, absolutely.
Mrs. Schaefer?
I don't have much to add that hasn't already been said. I do want to say one thing about the One More Time band show, is we have really a great tradition with majorettes. A lot of schools don't
Yeah,
have majorettes. And I did notice that this year we did have a ton of tigerettes. Was it ebb and flow? Sometimes we have a lot, sometimes we don't. This year we had some on the floor and on the stage. There was
Yeah,
a ton
there
this
were
year.
tons.
So I hope that's kind of a trend that's gonna be happening. But they gave it their all, and then when they said one more time, one last time, I know they've said it a couple times for the band, for the marching band year, but gosh darn, it
I
gets
know.
me every single time, and then they drop that flag down.
Yeah, it's.
It gets you. It was really. Although I can't let the moment pass without thanking the community for passing the levy. So very important for the district. Congratulations, Ms. Emmerman. Can't wait to work with you. Congratulations, Mr. Gomez. Happy to work with you another 4, so.
Another 4.
Yep.
Thank you. Ms. White?
Again, thank you to our community for passing that levy. Every time we have one, I sit at home and I just wait and hope. And it did. It passed overwhelmingly, so thank you.
Yeah.
And congratulations to everybody that made the board. Ms. Zimmerman, I am looking forward to working with you also, and I'm so happy I have another Silver Lake villager on this board. Yay, because I'm not going to be around forever, so I'm welcome.
We'll take you as close to forever as we can.
Oh, geez. I don't want to die here. Okay, anyway, going beyond that. I did get to stop by the Silver Lake Trunk and Treat, and it was cool. It was so fun. I didn't stay very long, but I did at least drop by. I did go to the steering committee meeting last night, which was interesting. I'm so glad parents are there. Even though Ms. Stoikoi tried to tell me that I was in her team and I was going to the wrong place.
So disappointed.
I know. But I went to the right one, so I'm there.
Did you?
And then I also got to attend the One More Time band show. And it dawned on me when they said, this is the last one in the auditorium. I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
And then I went, oh my gosh, that's right, there won't be. And so it really got me. And of course, I too, when that flag drops, and my dad's favorite song, which he was also served World War II, he loved the Stars and Stripes, and he used to wake us up at 4 a.m. playing that. And I used to kill him, But at any rate, it brought back that memory, and of course, all the armed service, the services. Thank you all so much, and I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful Veterans Day. I know my husband and his brother were both vets, and they would go out to to lunch because they give free meals to vets. So it's good. We're proud of our service members. I think that's all. I know. I was going to bring an article, but I knew we had an executive board, so I didn't. But I do want to recommend a book. I don't usually do that because I read so much, and I read a lot of nonfiction, some political, some not. And I don't like to bring that up. But because of the times we're in right now with the levels of not having food for our families, the poverty, there is an excellent book by Reverend William Barber called White Poverty. And if you're really interested in learning more about poverty overall, the causes, the effects, who's involved, and so on, it's just an excellent, heartwarming, heartfelt written book. And I highly recommend it. So.
And Reverend Barber leads the People's Campaign, I believe,
Yes,
too.
yes,
so
absolutely.
He's
So-
does really good work.
Yeah, it's just because of the time that we're in. It's very rough. So,
Sorry, I forgot one. Mr. Kelly's class at Lincoln Elementary was chosen for WKYC's Weather Wednesday. And they are going to be, next Wednesday morning, they are going to be on Weather Wednesday on WKYC. It's gonna air that same day. Is it Fox
No, it's
8?
Fox
Maybe
8.
I'm wrong on the channel, sorry.
It is.
But it's Weather Wednesday, it's gonna be on TV next Wednesday morning, so,
At what time?
9:05 to 10 o'clock, they'll do 4 different live
yeah.
You can make the 10
I
o'clock.
can be out. 9 o'clock is good. I'm good.
Thank you,
So
that's
very
exciting.
excited about
That's
it.
Yeah,
exciting.
that's,
Very
that's
exciting.
cool.
Cool.
That's very good.
Good note.
Okay, that brings us to item J, executive session. Pursuant to Ohio Revised Code Section 121.22 G1 and Section 121.22 G2, it is hereby moved that the board adjourn to executive session to consider the discipline of a public employee or official and to consider the purchase of property for public purposes, the sale of property at competitive bidding, or the sale or other disposition of unneeded, obsolete, or unfit for use property.
second.
Mrs. Okoye, please call the roll.
Mr. Gomez?
Aye.
Mr. Harris?
Aye.
Mrs. Schaefer?
Aye.
Ms. White?
Aye.
Ms. Coco?
Aye. Entering executive session at 7:35. There'll be no votes afterwards.